guys, today we're here in Munich and in about 2 hours Crowbar will hit the stage, and before that I have the great honor to talk to Kirk Windstein, the singer and guitar player of Crowbar.
Well, thank you very much.
So, how are you?
Excited. My throat's pretty shot. I've done 20, what did I do, 22 in a row? 23, 24, 25, 26. Yeah. 23 in a row. So last night was a little rough in Croatia, but it's a little better today. But other than that, excited. You know, the tour's almost over. It's been a great tour. We fly to Moscow tomorrow morning. We play Moscow tomorrow night at St. Petersburg on Tuesday, and we fly on Wednesday. So we've been over here since March 12. So we're ready to get home. But it's been great.
Great tour.
No complaints. It's been a really, really good tour.
Last year you released your latest full length.
Mm-hmm.
What's the meaning behind the title, Symmetry in Black?
It's not really, well, it kind of means perfection in black, but our thing was we wanted a black album cover. We're like, we never really had a simple black, make a point. Not to the extent of AC/DC Back in Black or Metallica the Blackout, but just something simple, and we never had one. And so we had that concept originally, and then when I usually go through, for all the album titles and stuff for the most part, a lot of song titles as well, I just look through all the lyrics and try to find something cool for like an album title or whatever. And I happened to see the lyrics to Symmetry in White, and I was like, why don't we just call it Symmetry in Black? So because lyrics and music and all was written, the title was one of the last things we came up with. So that's just, to us, it's just, we just wanted something simple to go, here it is, we don't need an exploding corpse or anything to sell it, or, any satanic stuff or nothing. This is it. This is our music. This is our new record.
What was your motivation behind doing, I would say, more clear vocals and overall being more melodic on the new album?
She kind of suggests. Honestly, why don't you sing a little more? I mean, I can actually sing. It's just little by little. But the thing is, when Crowbar started out, it was we kind of set this. We made a set of rules. Like, we can't do this. We can never do this. But that was 26 years now. So little by little, after the first few albums, we started expanding with a few different elements, bringing in different, because we all listen to all styles of music. And me in particular, at home I rarely listen to much metal. If it is, it's usually classic older metal. So, it was just, it started, I just felt like the songs were so good, and I was like, the riffs were so good, it gets kind of old doing the same type of vocal thing over and over again. And I'm like, you know what, it's totally possible to be melodic and extremely heavy and not, sell out to the Crowbar fans, but to make better songs. I think being my age and, being at my age, and which I'll be 50 next month, growing up on the music I grew up on, I mean, every song had melody. Nobody just screamed and barked into a mic or whatever, And I've been listening to a lot of older stuff, and during the recording during the writing process, I was listening to a lot of Typo Negative, and I was like, well, that's one of my favorite bands ever, and certainly heavy as fuck, and but still melody,
Yeah.
So that was it. Just kind of got sick of the same old, and little by little, like I said, I've been trying to bring new elements into the sound. It's a slow expansion, not like my thing was, when I was young, if a band sounded a certain way, that's great. I couldn't stand if I went and bought the new record and it doesn't sound like it's trying to be commercial, or they have a new look and all this. I never liked that. So we stick to what we do, and it's more mature, and it's just, with all the songs now, that I've been a part of with Crowbar, it's over 100 songs, and I've done 16 records total with the 10 Crowbars, 4 with Down I did, and 2 with Kingdom of Sorrows. So I think after all these years of studio work and writing and whatever, it was just time to expand a little bit.
What is your favorite place and time for songwriting, or does it just happen?
It's weird. Usually, this is weird because everybody's like, oh, they probably think I'm, drunk at midnight. It's raining outside, doom and gloom.
Best time for
fucking
songwriting.
candlelight. I've tried all that shit. None of it works. I work best in the afternoon when the weather's nice. Like today was a beautiful day. Like it doesn't have to be warm out, but when the sun's out and it's a nice, beautiful day or whatever. Like at home, we don't keep any artificial light on. We only use sunlight during the day. So I don't like artificial light, but I know we need it for the end. And it's getting dark, so as you can see in my castle here. But no, so I have a little chair I sit in. I have my practice amp, everything, and usually I pick up a guitar and just start messing around. And if an idea doesn't come to me right away, I usually set it down and come back later. But anything can happen. I mean, we can be like Walk with Knowledge Wisely. We were at the grocery store shopping, and I came up with the, dun 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 dun, the kind of idea. And I'm like, we gotta hurry. And she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I got a riff in my head. So like literally, we went straight home, brought in the groceries. I just kept humming it to myself on the ride home. Like I'm not being a dick, but I can't talk. I gotta get home before it's riff. So I forget shit because I'm very spontaneous with the way I write. So I don't like to write at all, like unless I have something to record it with or whatever, something available, because I will forget it.
What does music in general mean to you, and what do you want to express, especially with your music?
It means the world to me. I chose to make my life music, which is not always easy, but it's very rewarding. And that's what I'm coming to the part about what I like to express with the music. There's not a day that goes by, and it's a wonderful thing, that someone doesn't come up and pull me aside or something and say, your music really helped me through a difficult time in my life. Or, I mean, even back in before the computer days, I used to get handwritten letters from all over the world, people saying, how the music helped them, get over dark periods of their life, or, losing a family member, or, whatever it might be, drug and alcohol issues, things like that. So, I mean, I write what I feel. Like, usually the lyrics, the original, outline of the lyrics usually takes me about 5 minutes, the whole song, 10 tops. Then I go back and scratch and fix it. And then when I'm in the studio doing vocals, if I get to one word and it kind of sounds weird, I'll think about it, I'll like the way it's coming off, rolling off, like pronouncing it. I'll change that. So like my lyrics, if you saw it, it's a bunch of shit scratched out and arrows going everywhere. And I think most guys are. Nobody sits down and types out, on the computer or something, this beautiful lyric sheet, I've watched Phil Anselmo so many times writing, like if during down rehearsal, we'd have a song on. He's like, all right, do it again. And you just sit there, and he'll come up with the majority of it, and then just fine tune it. You go back, you think about it, you listen to the riffs that you're gonna be singing over, and just kind of fine tune it. But usually, like I just write. It can just be, I just start writing. I don't know how to explain it. Same thing with the guitar. Some of the best guitarists ever, I just picked up a guitar and just did something, and I'm like, all right, that's kind of cool. Where can I go from here? So it's real spontaneous. And it either works or it doesn't. And I'm too old now to work. If it doesn't work, I'm patient. I just set it down and come back later, and it'll work.
Which band or which bands influenced and inspired you most in life as well as in your own music?
I mean, as a young person, Kiss was my first big, Elton John, but I was about 8, I think, when I got into Elton John. And I took piano lessons for a short while when I was about 8 or 9 years old. And I wanted to play, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road or something cool out. I didn't understand how much was involved. So I got pissed off and quit. And then picked up guitar when I was 13. And I went to guitar lessons, same thing. I was like, well, I want to play Stairway to Heaven, and I want to play this and that. And the guy's like, no, you need to learn all. So I said, fucking quit. So I taught myself by ear. And Kiss, was my first real thing. No, Ace Frehley's one of my all-time favorite guitar players. He's the reason I play guitar. Me and about 10 zillion other guys in my age group that play guitar. I actually wanted to play drums first, but my parents were smart enough to buy me an acoustic guitar and say, "Why don't you try the guitar?" So I'm beating on everything.
Good decision.
Yeah, they'll get you an acoustic, and if you practice for I went to lessons and quit, and they're like, I said, "Don't worry, I'm still going to play." And I started teaching myself by ear, and my mom and my dad and my mom's passed away quite a while. My dad's still alright. He's still a big music fan, And I'd play. He'd be like, "Why don't you try to pick out some of this?" He'd put on records and stuff, and he was like, "Wow, you really have a knack for it." So for the next Christmas, we'll get you an electric guitar. But Kiss was the first thing, and then that was my life for a couple of years, from say 10, 11 till about 13, 14 years old. Like that, my life was Kiss. That's all. That's basically the only fucking band I even listened to. My whole everything was nothing but Kiss. And that was at their heyday and the biggest band in the U.S. at the time, at least. And then I heard Van Halen, and that was all she wrote there. So, no, I thought it was two guys playing Eruption. I thought it was two guitars at one time. And this guy's he's like, "No, man, it's one dude." And I'm like, "There's no fucking way. It's two guitars playing at one time. It can't be." But I grew up on all the classic rock. Queen, Thin Lizzy's one of my favorite bands of all time. UFO, Michael Schenker's one of my favorite players. And then I got into, the new wave of British heavy metal, like the first Iron Maiden record was the first one. It's still my favorite. Everybody thinks I'm crazy for that, but it is. Judas Priest, of course, was right there. Always one of my favorites, except Motorhead, of course, was one of my favorites of all time. And then Zeppelin and Sabbath. Everybody's who's not into Sabbath. And then it kind of escalated, Then I heard Metallica and Anthrax and Megadeth and all of these bands, and it was just it was an exciting time. And that's when I really got into, the time all that shit was coming out. I was still in high school. My friend Jerry used to bring cassette tapes and give them "Try this band out." He introduced me to a lot of stuff that Venom and I never heard of them. Man of War, stuff like this is back in 1982, 80, 81, 82, 83. But he was the first one to give me. He had a copy of Judas Priest, Screaming for Vengeance. He's the one, he brought the first Motley Crue record to school. He turned me on to all kind of shit. It's weird because I played sports, but I kind of had long hair. And I hung out with all the metal guys, rock metal guys at lunch. But then after school, I did weightlifting and sports with all the jock guys. So I got along with everybody, so it was a good plus. But yeah, that's Saxon's huge right there.
Yeah.
Huge, half my body's
Thin Lizzy is always on your leg.
Motorhead and about 5 times and all kind of stuff. But those are the bands that really got me into it. And then when I quit playing organized sports, I said, okay. My parents were like, okay, it's time to go to college and get a real job. And I started working, and I really started practicing a lot. And I was like, you know what? I'll put college off for a little while, And they're like, that's fine as long as you work, and do something. Because I said, how am I going to work, go to school, and play in a band? And they go, I said, well, fuck school. I graduated high school, good grades. I said, fuck it. I can always, my thing was, it's time to do this now. Because if I wait, like the age I am now, I have friends that are my age that would be like, damn, dude, I can't believe you actually did what you wanted to do. I'm proud of you, which is a great feeling. They're like, I wish I would have fucking, kept playing drums or played guitar and, didn't quit and whatever, whatever it might be. So for me, it was kind of like, school and career and children and all that can wait. Now's the time to try to do music. And, because I told myself, if you quit now, you're never going to know. At least if you give it everything you got and you don't succeed, that's okay. But if you never try, you're always going to wonder, could I have succeeded in making, music a career? My goal was never to be a rock star or rich and famous and all that shit. I'll take the rich part, but, believe me or not, but I've been blessed and I'm lucky. The way my career is exactly what I wanted it to be. It's 26 years in with Crowbar now, and I was in bands before that. I started my first gig was probably when I was 15 or 16 years old, so it's been like 31 34, 35 years that I've been playing out loud, you know. So.
Yeah, you said it, music is your life and means the world to you, but if you didn't play in Crowbar, or didn't make music at all, what would you probably do, or what would you like to do?
I mean, when I was younger, if I wouldn't have gotten into music, I would have wanted to do something sports related. I mean, sports has always been, you know, my other passion besides music. It's kind of, you know, American football, and I've always been in weightlifting and, you know, just athletic sports. I mean, I've always been competitive like that, and I've always enjoyed. I always played organized sports when I was a kid in high school and all that. So probably something to do with sports or weight, you know, fitness or something. As you can see, I'm very fit. But yeah, that's my other passion, really. But you know, I mean, we have something, thank God, that works, and working with Robin, with my wife. You know, we work very hard, but we get to work together. And when we're home, we're regular old people. And when we're on tour, we're regular old people. We're just, music is this is our job. To us, this is our family business. You know? I mean, Crowbar is a 24, you know, hour, 7 day a week, every day of the year thing. Constantly checking the computer and the phone, emails, business stuff. It doesn't stop. We do, you know, I mean, it's an in-house thing with us and our management. You know, we do it ourselves, and there's a lot of, it's very fulfilling doing it that way. Working, you know, we work hard to save money by doing a lot of the work ourselves instead of hiring other people. But, you know, like on tour and stuff like that, but that's the way we want it, so we're proud of how hard we work and how well it's been going.
Which Crowbar album is your favorite one? And why? Or is there even a favorite one?
It's not a favorite. It's kind of like children, you know, I guess. Like you can't have a favorite. It's not a favorite.
A lot of children.
I mean, Oddfellows Rest is one of my favorites because that was the first record that I said, fuck it, I'm bringing in a bunch of new elements, and with the songwriting and you know, and it really did. It was a lot different. Like a song like Planets Collide, I never would have tried to write a couple of years before that, you know. But I mean, the Crowbar, the self-titled record, Broken Glass, is one of my favorite. Sonic Excess in its purest form, Oddfellows Rest. I mean, actually, there's bits and pieces on all of them that I love, but like Sever the Wicked Hand at the time was amazing. And then everybody's like, oh, you'll never outdo that. And then Symmetry in Black came out, and I think it's a better record. So I love Symmetry in Black. It sounds like Crowbar. There are elements of the band from the very beginning, but there's also new elements. It sounds like what I dreamed Crowbar should sound like. And it's just after 20, you know, 5, 6, whatever, 24 years at the time, whatever it was, that we, you know, that it was written and recorded. You just learn a lot. So that was our 10th record, and it came out on our 25th anniversary. So that was very important to say, hey, you know, we're not going to sit back and rest on our laurels. You know, we're not going to sit back and just play all the old songs that the people like. We want to continue to make good music and try to top ourselves every time we do. Yeah. So I think our last 2 records have been 2 of our strongest records.
So you say there isn't a best Crowbar album for you, but what was the best album being released last year, in your opinion? Except of Symmetry in Black, of course.
Honestly, Accept, the new Accept, what is it, Blonde Rage, I think, is amazing. I think, yeah, it came out in 2014. So, but the Judas Priest, latest one is fucking awesome also. See, I'll get into the older shit. Motorhead Aftershock was great as well. I don't know if they came out in 13 or 14, I can't. I'm more likely to, the only bands I really buy, and it's not for any reason other than I'm old school, like I'll buy the new Accept, the new Motorhead, the new Judas Priest, you know, the new Saxon, because those are the bands I grew up on. I'm kind of set in my ways. I do hear support acts and new bands come out and go, wow, these guys are really good. But, you know, for me, I'm kind of old school in the sense that nothing's ever going to top, you know, Thin Lizzy Jailbreak or, you know, fucking Motorhead, you know, Ace of Spades or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, that's what I grew up on. So I still buy those bands' records.
So, last question.
Okay.
Maybe especially for the male fans. What's your secret recipe for such a long and great beard?
Actually, I wash it every day, but I don't have proper conditioning. Nothing. I started growing it, and it's been long, and you know, and sometimes I'll cut a bit off here and there, whatever. I mean, now I see a lot of beards way nicer than mine or whatever, but I started growing a beard in 2001, and it wasn't nearly this long, but still I kept it longer than normal. You know, it wasn't clean shaven. And because a lot of people, you know, there's this big thing going on, everybody's got a long beard now. So I like to think that, you know, I started growing mine well before the beard thing came popular. And I'm sure when they all shave theirs off and come up with something else, I'll still be the old guy with the long beard.
All right, then thank
you very much.
For
Awesome.
the interview, for your
My
time.
pleasure.
And
you enjoy the show?
yeah, sure.
Hopefully I can fake it through with my old voice tonight.
I'm sure.
It'll be okay.
So, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.